Welcome, welcome to the art of the word that I am from the heart. Welcome from the heart. It's poetry, and the answer is revealed within you, out of the seed of love, out of the silence of the mind, out of that fear, guilt, desperateness, sadness, attachments, dependency, need, control or resistance, blame, opposition, violation. You rise out of that. And this is the seed for your divine, magnificent human being. That is love, peace, truth, power, compassion, harmony, unity, joy, happiness. You know, within the seed, there is already flower blossoming. It's already there. Now just see the beautiful flower on the surface. It blossoms in dazzling beauty. Bumblebees and bees are feasting on its nectar. So beautiful. But you know, the blossoming of the seed was already within the seed when seed was plunged deep into the darkness. When seed was actually exploding through that darkness, through that density, on the surface, in great pain, in explosion, in chaos, to that darkness and density. And that act of chaos, suffering, explosion of the seed bursting out on the surface implies already the blossoming of the flower on the sunlight. But seed is in the darkness, in the density, in the dirt, with no light, in separation from light, from blossoming. And just that dirt, just that darkness, just that density pushes the seed to burst open and crash, break through the blocks of density into freedom and blossom in eternal life. You know where I'm going, huh? With this poetry. Answers always within you. So you have to see that what is happening now on the earth, lockdown, pandemic, they are trying to get a mosquito in the house with a motor saw, and motor saw is made out of wood, taking rights away, controlling, spreading fear, all the corruption, sex crime against women, sex slavery, slavery of young boys and girls especially, slavery of children, pedophilia, corruption in the government. All this is actually the seed of the new flower of life, flower of heaven on earth, that bursted through the surface. And yes, we have bursted through the surface 2012. Until 2012, the unconscious was unconscious. It was not on the surface. We would destroy ourselves by our unconscious shadow in Great War. But we crossed that line. We literally are in that suffering, in that explosion, in that bursting of the seed through the density, through the darkness, through the dirt, on the light. We are there now, and that's why it's so chaotic, so much pressure, so much suffering. There's actually the new earth is getting born, and actually that darkness, that seed had bursted up on the surface, and the blossoming of the flower of new life is already implied in this chaos, in this control, in this slavery, in this manipulation, deception, in this pandemic of fear, in this virus, in this corruption, sex trafficking, pedophilia, all the crime against humanity and wars, crimes against those of different races. This is the seed of the flower of life that bursted and cracked open on the surface. Just look, it is. I tell you it is. You see, the government is deceiving, controlling, manipulating, taking rights away. And people actually can experience that government wants to control them, take their rights away, enslave them. And flower of life rises in the power more. And now they see that we live in a prison planet when they want to control us, take our rights away, take our freedom away. And it's calling for freedom. And people are getting free from the heart and calling for freedom. And more the darkness and density pushes on the seed, more seed is pushing and bursting out on the surface. And you see how this pandemic is actually calling for freedom. All the conflict in the world, war, conflict between races, race wars, conflict between groups, all the conflict is actually implying peace, unity. The opposition, separation, violation, destruction of others, correcting others, trying to change others. The sides in conflict are actually just calling out for unity and peace. And in that conflict, in that wars, there is unity and peace, blossoming of the flower of life implied already within. The light is shining, the light is shining. And light is shining, people experience the darkness, see it for what it is, judge it for what it is, and they choose, and they want freedom. For light is shining, and the darkness is only producing the seed to burst through the surface and eventually blossom in the new flower of life. Just see corrupt politicians and all the exposement of corrupt politicians and corruption, stealing our money, lying, deceiving. In this corruption, there is already implied human government, love, This implied within, do not do to your brother what you don't want to be done upon yourself. So righteous government, righteous politicians that work for human being and well-being of all human beings and unity and peace and health are implied in this corruption. And people see the corruption and they are yelling for the government of the people. Truthful and sincere, righteous government. It's already implied within. Already implied within. Pedophilia exposed. Terrible thing. Most terrible. My heart's breaking. Poor children. Crimes against children exposed. And within this is the seed. People are standing up and saying, you lying politicians, you lying rich people, you will not rape our children, you will not kill our children, you will not do satanic rituals on our children. It implies on the end of crime against little ones. Implies end. Implies that we ain't having this. That heavenly kingdom belongs to children. Children are pure. And all this exposing of sexual crimes and even worse crimes against children like adrenochrome. These motherfuckers drinking children's tortured children liquid from the adrenaline glands. My God, vampirism in this terrible, terrible crimes against children. It's implied that humanity, we see this on the light. We evaluate it, we judge it. We are demons, you're killing children, vampires. We are not having it. And it's making the flower of life to grow into the world where no one is to abuse children, sexually abuse children, or even worse. For there is the heavenly kingdom on earth, and we all have to become children again. What we do to children, we do to God, we destroy ourselves. Is already implied a world where we respect children and love children as God. They are God. They are next generation of consciousness here to teach us new consciousness. To correct us where we messed up in our old consciousness. You see. And all other corruption in politics, sex crimes, all the corruption in the judiciary system, in the police, everywhere. Everywhere is just the darkness and density that is actually flower of life bursting on the surface. And people are saying, we ain't having it. We want a righteous police for the people. We want righteous judges and righteous jurisdiction system that sees all human beings of all colors the same. And judges only as bad if we do to others what we don't want to be done upon ourselves. And no colors. Human unity, human police, human justice system is implied in this corruption. For corruption is seen on the light and human being is rising, judging it. We ain't having it. We want system that is not corrupt but actually works for the human being and for Mother Nature. The seed. Heaven on earth already implied in the seed. World of war, conflict, violation, chaos, hate, blame, already implies within This is the seed coming to surface. Implies the world of peace, love, unity. When we do not do to others what does not feel right to them, for we don't want them to do to us what we don't do to them. A word of no opposition, no conflict, no violation. For only conflict, if we don't allow others to be different, then we have to change them, oppose them, violate them, is the cause of hell on earth. And in that conflict, in that opposition, the peace is already implied on earth within, where we let others be different and we choose to be ourselves. And we bless others to be ourselves, and we focus on what resonates with us, and people who resonate with us, birds of a feather flock together. We don't violate, we don't oppose. There is peace already, love, harmony, unity, respect in that violation of opposition, control, blame, trying to change others. And in this pandemic, I have to say once again, people's rights are taken away. Children have to wear masks. Nobody listens to take our health away. But already health is implied there. We are roaring and standing up. Mother Nature heals us. Love heals us. Meditation heals us. Sun heals us. Unity heals us. Coming in contact with viruses heals us. Vaccines destroy us. No, we ain't having it. We can heal ourselves, and Mother Gaia healed me. And the system wanted to destroy me completely. Medical system. I heal myself. Already is implied. We will not have vaccines. We will not do things that you want from us to destroy our immune system, to destroy our health, that we depend on your poison to destroy our health only. But we will heal ourselves in Mother Nature, in alternative medicine, with natural medicine, with sun, with Mother Nature, with exercise, with meditation, with good news, with focusing on love, with spreading love and no fear. In that fear already love is implied. In fear that they are spreading now, and fear that is the surface. In that fear people are calling for love, for love, for love and no fear. So it's the bursting of the flower of life on the surface through the density. Beautiful, huh? Beautiful. So you see also within you, if you are afraid, you're afraid, but it's coming to consciousness. You want to get free of that fear. You want to have courage. You want to choose on love. You want to be good news in that fear, in that false self, in that separation from self. Already, your true self, love with no fear, courage. A lion is implied. And that fear is actually seed bursting through the surface in suffering, in separation from self, so you can be yourself and rise in your heavenly glory and blossom on the surface. In that guilt, already your full acceptance, guilt blaming you for who you are, for what you want to do, for what feels right, is already implied. That you are in separation from self, blaming yourself, and you are calling to accept yourself with no guilt, to be and express yourself, to say no and yes to who you are and express yourself, to do what feels right to you, and what doesn't you say no, and to be yourself with no guilt. That guilt already implies, and whatever is happening, if you are not daring to be yourself in front of others, you're already bursting and coming to consciousness. See, it is bursting through the surface on the light. You can see your guilt, and you say, I'm not guilty. I have to accept myself with no guilt, No one else has to accept me, and I have to say no to what is not me and yes what is me, and express myself what is yes and express myself what is no. Do what is right and stop doing what is not right, and be myself, stop trying to be other. Your true being with no guilt is already implied. It's the seed, your blossoming of the flower of new life. Your attachments, your dependency. And then you start controlling, resisting, forcing, trying to get, you know. It's already implied that you are actually searching for yourself. You want to get yourself. And you are forcing, resisting against yourself because you are attached and dependent to get the energy of others. But it's the seed bursting on the surface. Flower of life, little one, on the light, so you can see that your attachment is the root cause of all suffering. You have dependency now, you fear of losing. Now you depend on the energy of others. Now you want to control, resist, force to get, and you just suffer in separation from self. You don't get it. And now you get it on the light. It's coming to the surface. You can get free of your attachments. You can get free of your fear, free of your guilt. You feel powerless. When they want to control you and take your rights away, you feel like you have no power. But in that powerlessness, hopelessness, it's the seed bursting on the surface. On the light, you can see that you don't want to be hopeless, that you don't want to be powerless. And you work on yourself, so you rise into your power, the power of the source that I am, greatest power, love. And no power has any power over you. In separation from yourself, in giving, in fearing, guilt, power away, being so hopeless, you see what you do actually. You are calling for your power. And you are bringing to consciousness that powerlessness. You can release fear and guilt. And have courage to say yes and no. And to follow love, no fear. And now you're embodying more and more of your power because you are expressing it. And you are working on to release your powerlessness. You bring it to consciousness. Yeah. And then you bring your darkness. You are no more afraid of you. You are no more guilty, ego blaming you for who you are. You are no more attached, you are free. You don't control or resist trying to change anyone. You don't oppose and violate anyone. Beautiful, huh? You know. Beautiful. So you can just blossom. I lost what I was speaking about, I'm sorry. So you can just blossom, you know. And you see your attachments. I got it now. Your guilt, your fear, your dependency, your control, your resistance, force, blame, hate even, is implying. These are the shadow of self, separation from self. It's implying who you are underneath the shadow. And you bring the shadow to consciousness. And literally that darkness, that density that made the seed to burst open, crack open to the darkness and density, becomes your power. It literally becomes your power. Just listen. You no more blaming yourself for who you are and others. You no more going against yourself, and you don't expect others to do what is not right for them. And you never do what is not right. You don't put up with it anymore. But if others want to blame you, if others want to control you, you stand up for yourself, you control, force, resist no one, you blame no one. With your unconscious shadow, you're conscious of it. It becomes your power. It stands for your light. It becomes your ground. Now you are a flower of life. You're blossoming with no guilt, with no fear, with no attachments. You are no more submerged in that chaos bursting out through the darkness and density of the dirt. But look what you are. You are a flower of life, and literally your darkness that you broke through, that darkness is your ground, is your power, is literally your power. Ground that you stand on, that holds you, that supports you, that gives you life and nourishment, that doesn't take your power away but gives you power. You give no power to others, take no power to others, so you can stand in this world and be empowered, so you can get all the light and be the light and shine. You are the flower of life, you see. And that same what is happening now on earth, and it is happening within you, is the same. The seed is bursting through the surface, through the density and darkness, to the light, to grow out of that darkness on the light and blossom on all your heavenly glory. And the darkness that you suffer in and this world suffers in now is to be the foundation, the power of heaven on earth, as darkness is brought to consciousness and doesn't anymore oppose and attack light, but actually supports and stands for the light, like dark sky is standing for the stars of the light of the stars to shine, and like dirt holds the flowers to grow and blossom in all their heavenly glory. The dirt, the density, gives it power, and flower of life grows through that dark density. The density, darkness becomes its power, and implies darkness and density, implies light and freedom. Chaos implies harmony. Hell on earth implies heaven. Fear implies love and courage. Conflict implies peace. Control implies freedom and respect. Manipulation, deception implies transparency, honesty, integrity. Corruption implies integrity, righteousness. Virus trying to destroy. Virus that is harmless and they are trying to destroy with vaccines our health is implying of our being full of health, that Mother Gaia heals and Father Son. So hell on earth and chaos on earth actually implies heaven on earth. The seed is bursting through the dirt, through the darkness, on the surface to grow into your heavenly glory. So you see, this is it. And we have come across 2012. In 2012, the seed has bursted out on the surface, unconscious to consciousness. And in this chaos that we are now in, this is the change. This is actually the time. If we would destroy ourselves, we would do it before, when unconscious was unconscious. Now it's time to bring the unconscious to consciousness, to heal it, evaluate it, experience it, release it, heal it, integrate it. And it's producing fear, worry, guilt, hopelessness, despair. Yeah. That dirt, that darkness. So you can also heal it, integrate it, heal it, release it, evaluate it, experience it, heal it, Release it, bring it to your light so it becomes your power. Your false self suffering in false self in the mind, in fear and guilt, control, resistance, blame, guilt, is implying your true self, free of guilt, free of fear, whole and complete, joy and happiness, fulfilled from the heart, free of attachments, control, dependency, resistance, blame, hate, jealousy. Pure love that you are with no need. That seed that is bursting in chaos on the surface implies your heavenly glory, flower of new life growing from your heart and blossoming in new life in love, and you are that love. And hell on earth now and chaos implies just that the flower of new life has bursted through the dirt, through the density on the surface, and actually the structure there, and actually implies heaven on earth, and implies the solutions to all the problems, to all the chaos, control, manipulation, deception, opposition and conflict. It actually implies heaven on earth. And I give you my word just for that. For in the seed there is blossoming on the flower implied. And seed is deep in the darkness, in the density, suffering, exploding in suffering. But the growing of flower of life on the light is implied in the seed. And I give you my word just for that. For you are the flower of new life that I am. And through my darkness I grew to my light, to enlightenment, blossoming in my true self, in love that I am you. And I give you my word just for that. So you can break through the surface. Bring the surface, the dirt and density to consciousness. So it becomes your power, your ground, your foundation. So you can blossom as a flower of life from the heart in your heavenly glory. Free as I am, pure love as I am, light that I am, true that I am, love with no need, love that needs to love and blossom. I give you my word just for that. And if anybody feels like you want to offer a donation, like you want to offer a support to the heart of the word that I am, do know that you are so free and you are so welcome. But only if your heart blossoms and wants to give me a donation, I receive, I accept. Because in giving we receive. If you give me joy of your heart, joyful giving, you can receive all my blessings, for I'm all joyful giving. I cannot save you, I cannot teach you anything. I give you my word and you find the answer within you revealed from your being, and you follow that answer. Others will only program you in their mind. You have to meditate, you have to feel, you have to work on yourself and allow the answers to be revealed from within you in your being. Never mind. You know, you save yourself, you do it yourself. And another thing, but everyone who ever offers me a donation, I always have a special gift for that soul. I'm not chatting with you, I'll not go to dinner with you, I'll not telephone call with you, I will not guide you in comments and messenger, be your personal guru. But you have given me the energy that I appreciate so much, and I'm so grateful. And there's any blessing in my heart, let it go to you. Without you, there would not be word that I am flowing like this. Thank you. You keep the art of the word that I'm going. Thank you, from the heart. But I want to share my best energy for the energy I received, and I appreciate it. I'm so grateful, like a little child, for you keep me in this world so I can be in this world and so others can get free of this world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I won't say anything, you don't say anything. I'm a very clairsentient being. I connect with your email address in PayPal. I don't need anything else. I connect with your being, and I do white light quantum source healing on you, baby, on your entire being. And no, you don't need an appointment. Quantum white light source healing beyond time and space. You need my word, and you have my word that I will do it. And no, you don't need to tell me what is wrong with you. for you giving me donation for the video, for my teaching, my poetry, and like this. This is it. And you receive my blessing. But I'm so grateful that I want to share you my best energy. And I'm silent. And if you tell me nothing, I can focus on your being free of afflictions, and then my healing will work most on you. But you have my word. And for me, really, just in PayPal, your email is enough for me to connect you with you and do most profound healing on you, you know. So with this, I'm sorry for the noise. I didn't went away now. I cannot heal you. As much as you work on yourself, you heal yourself. If you think that world is ending, that you are ending in darkness, and no one can heal you. You end in darkness, world is ending in darkness. You choose that reality. But if you're realizing that out of your fear, your guilt, your suffering, your resistance, your attachments, your hopelessness, powerlessness is the seed that is bursting for you to grow in your power, in your love, in your truth, as a flower of new life and blossom from the heart. And whatever is happening in the world is also just seed of heaven and earth bursting in suffering and great chaos on the surface. You heal yourself, you save yourself, and you work on yourself. You bring your unconscious to consciousness. You burst through the surface, through the dirt and density of your mind, and you rise and grow as a flower of new life from the heart. Heavenly kingdom is within you. You grow from the heavenly kingdom. You are angel from the heavenly kingdom. And the heavenly kingdom grows from within you into this world. Flower of new life blossoms from the heart. You are that flower. And flower of new life blossom from our one heart in every heart that I am. And that's new earth, heaven on earth. And this hell on earth ending, coming to surface, is just implying that the seed has broke to the surface, so the flower of life can grow and blossom in new life of love, in freedom, in truth, in unity, in peace, in abundance, from the heart to heaven and earth, to new earth. Implies the new earth is growing to blossom from the heart. I give you my word just for that. Purnamaste. May you grow through your dirt, through your density, break through blocks of density to the darkness and grow and blossom as flower of new life from the heart towards heaven and earth, for you are angel from heaven and earth. Heavenly kingdom is within you. You are the flower of life growing from the heart. Never mind. I give you my word. I give you my word.